The Ville is back. Grab your Snuggie because it's a cold world outside.
But it's like 100 degrees outside.
Why do you do this? Welcome everybody to the historic first album review of this channel. Yeah, I know, I'm going to take an easy way out and I'm going to choose something that is very popular instead of something that's a little bit of a hidden gem. And yes, I'm going to choose J.Cole, which is going to be automatically, spoiler alert, which is automatically going to be one of the best albums of the year because that's what J.Cole does. Okay? Who?
Jermaine. Yeah. Cole. Yes.
I had to throw that in there. But, you know, I will be using this channel to talk about more albums and definitely more, albums that I feel like don't get a lot of attention during the year. But this was one of those albums I know I wanted to talk about since everybody and their mama had an opinion about it when it first came out. It's been a little bit of time since it's released, you know, so now I've let the songs marinate. I've seen the reactions that it's been getting, and universally I think it's been pretty well praised, you know, and rightfully so. J. Cole is indeed the most talented rapper probably of this generation right now. Like, he is so universally loved by old heads who love their old school hip hop vibes and the new guys that like want to look up to somebody. He's right in the middle. He knows that, you know, he has to set the bar high for the younger generation, but he also commands the respect from his older peers too. So with that being said, the off season, right off the bat, was one of the best albums that I got to listen this year. And I don't think there's a whole lot that I could say that's wrong with it. Now I will say it's not a perfect album, but it's damn good. Like, there's no way I can go through that album and try to say that I didn't enjoy it, okay? Right off the bat, you know, he's talking with the track 95 South. He just comes in, and this is what I imagine that everybody, you know, like as soon as you're walking into the gym in slow motion, you open up the doors and, you know, like you're ready to just go to work on lifting weights, or you're just driving around and you're just like trying to get yourself hyped. This is that track, okay? So to me, the off season is where you hone your craft, right? And I think that first track sets a bar that what you're going to see on this album is that he is going to experiment a little bit of all the things that he's learned throughout his entire, you know, catalog of music that he's produced. And I really like the tone of this. You know, the Cameron intro is epic. It's one of the greatest intros I've probably heard in my life. And I really think that he set the bar high. He set the tone really well right off the bat. Then you start to kind of get to more into the tracks that follow. You know, Mari and My Life are just really good showcases for J. Cole's ability to rap. I think this whole album, the whole purpose of this entire album is just to show that, you know, it's like he's keeping his sword sharp, you know, during this off season, and he's letting these rappers know that, hey, he's out there, he's working on his craft, he knows he's the best, and he's not taking the foot off the gas pedal. You know, he's going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to work on his craft. I will say, like, this album has a nice theme to it, because that overall, I think that's the theme of this album. But I think what you get from this album is a little bit of everything. You get like a little bit of the hype rap songs, you know, the ones that motivate you, the songs that are talking about getting out of the trenches, getting out of the ghetto, you know, all these other tracks. But then you also talk about the introspective Cole, which is my favorite, you know, where he talks about pride is the devil, you know, and how much it can just, you know, you put so much self pain on yourself because you just have too much pride, and it's you get all the lyrical greatness that has made J. Cole who he is today. Now that I've actually let this album sit a little bit longer than most albums that I'm going to be reviewing, I'm going to say that it's probably in his top 3 catalog. Like, to me personally, I still think Forest Hill is still his creme de la creme. KOD was a great album, and I really like that one as well. And I think right behind KOD or the off season is where you kind of see where he ranks with this. I think it's a fair comparison. It's about 12 tracks. You get like about 40 minutes of music, and it's pretty good. His typical sounds where he's trying to do a little bit of what we're used to, the things that's made him like well, received as an artist. But I do appreciate that he took a little bit more chances and tried to work on a sound that actually is not really what he's used to. And I know when it comes to that, like, the critics will say like, "Oh, J. Cole, that's not you. Stop doing this stuff." But to me, I think it's very impressive when an artist can go out and actually try to experiment a little bit and get out of their comfort zone. And I think J. Cole actually handled himself really well. To me, I think if you're going to listen to one track, and you only have to listen to one track, my favorite track is the very last track, Hunger on Hillside. That's the very last track. And man, it's the culmination of everything that J. Cole is good at. He's just like motivation and just like a strong beat. It just makes you feel like man, you can do anything in this world. I think I personally, and it was hard to pick between all the good tracks on that one, but that's just my personal track. I will complain about one little thing. I don't know if this is by design. I don't know if J. Cole suffers from Drake syndrome. Wow, what Drake syndrome is to me is that he would never put an artist that could potentially out-rap him on any tracks. And that's interesting because on Revenge of the Dreamers 3, he has a lot of talented, members on that squad, and I was actually looking forward to actually seeing a lot of these guys that they used on that album. But I only saw Boss, which is like his homeboy, and he's on a couple of tracks, but that's it. So no offense, like 21 Savage had a great feature. I don't know if the Little Baby feature was the way I would have went on the one track, but. It is what it is. It's kind of interesting because I know some artists just are not afraid to like put like Big Sean featuring Kendrick Lamar. I always think about that, and it's kind of impressive to me because I think like as an artist you're gonna put somebody who's very good, maybe if not better than you. And I know a lot of people aren't better than J. Cole, but it is kind of interesting to see who you choose on your album as far as features. And I don't think J. Cole picked anybody that could have been worthy, that should have been on this album actually, to do some of these tracks. But I digress because these artists that he picked are very popular, and he introduced me to Moray, who had a hell of a verse on his track on My Life. Actually, really made me a big fan after hearing that. So with that being said, I am going to give this album a 9.2. I think it's very damn good. My only complaints are just a little bit of the features. Could have been maybe better. Maybe could have had a better selection. And 40 minutes is an okay amount, but an extra 10 minutes could have went a lot further. Maybe another track, maybe another track and a half. I don't know, something like that. But I don't know. It's a great album. Definitely check it out. J. Cole, Off Season.